No, c'è che... Let's start. 1, 2, 3, prova. Ok, test. Okay, so we're gonna start. The event will be in English because we also have a remote audience that is not an Italian one. Okay, so I guess that you will be comfortable using English. We are gonna start. Okay. So welcome to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So this is a workshop that is in the framework of an Italian project named Music for D. The project was and is being funded by the Italian Ministry of Research, and today we got someone from the ministry that will give us, will give you a welcome, okay, in this context. And as you will see, we will bring you through, let's say, a storytelling that is supported by science fiction, but it's grounded in the reality, because we will showcase our new platform that is called Robocon, okay? I will stop here, because we will have multiple moments in which we will run the story, okay? But first of all, I'd like to invite to be here our magnificus rector, so Professor Gianluigi Greco. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Giancarlo. Welcome to all of you here in our very beautiful theater. So this is, as you know, this is a special kind of university. It is a campus. And so we like to have in this campus many different facilities. And having a theater and such a very beautiful theater is for us a very distinguished feature. And today in this feature, we put together research, we put together vision, we put together art, and also, I think, a bit of future. Because we are, for Giancarlo, is very active at an international level and is trying to explore what art and artificial intelligence can do together. I think that this is an interesting perspective, I must say. As you know, University of Calabria is rather active in the area of artificial intelligence. We do a lot of things, but this specific idea was rather missing. And so Giancarlo had a very good intuition. And so the real question is what can be done and what is artistic in what AI produce, how we can really combine our perspective, our way of inventing new things with the things that machines invent from themselves. This is not something very, it's not easy to address this question, I must say. It is a profound question. It is related to what we define as creativity, to what we define as using technology to produce creativity, and being creative in using technology. It is a lot of things put them together. And I must say this is also a very nice opportunity for me to meet again a very good friend of mine, Mauro Martino, who I must say, rather long time ago, start discussing with me about the fact that we can use technology to build art and to create art. And I think that this is an area in which we have to understand that we are evolving in a scenario in which human and technologies will be part of the same environment. And we have, in a sense, to think at what we can do and what we can take for the best. These technologies cannot be stopped there. It is not the way we can think. These technologies are growing faster than we can imagine, are capable of doing things that are more and more complicated. And I think that creativity, that is the thing that we as humans believe that is our real distinguishing feature, should confront itself with what machine can do. So, Giancarlo, I think that you started a really novel branch of reflection, of introspection in our university. It is very nice that you had organized such a very beautiful event, and I'm also very pleased to see here this incredible orchestra. So thank you very much for being here. So it's really a magical moment. I've seen also a friend of mine, is Fabrizio Cobbi there. I see Fabrizio maybe. Ciao Fabrizio, so I really appreciate your presence here. So we'll come even for online. So thank you for being here. So thank you everybody for being here, and I hope all the best for this event.
Thank you very much, our rector. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Professor Francesco Sarcello, who is our chair of our department, because of course the project is in our department, the DIMES department. Please, Francesco.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Welcome to everybody on behalf of the DIMES department. Our department is a big department in the university. We have more than 150 researchers and PhD students working on many different teams. And this is one of the main features of our department, I would say. We have people working on artificial intelligence, of course, but also on robotics, automation, telecommunications, applied mathematics, also environmental sciences. And the possibility of interacting with each other is a very important resource for us. And I would say it's also the possibility to have success and to organize such very nice things as this event. And today we will face music and artificial intelligence from a very peculiar perspective. We already have in our department some groups that work on music. For instance, there is a very nice application in repairing old recordings and bring them back to life by using artificial intelligence. Today we will face this theme from a different perspective. We will try to connect music and artificial intelligence from an emotional side. And I think that music is one of the best tools that we have to connect soul and brain. And one of the objectives of this project is precisely to understand where emotions came out and when and in which possible way the music is able to start these emotions. You will see there some neutral, exciting. I don't know precisely who is the person that is in this moment neutral or excited, but I think that we all are excited and anxious to understand something more about this project. So let me thank Giancarlo Fortino, which is the head of the SPEM laboratory, for having organized this nice event. Professor Francesco Pupo, who is the scientific responsible of this project. All the staff of this theater, of course, the rector and all the staff, and also the staff of my department that worked very hard on these organizations. So thank you and wish you a beautiful event. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Francesco, for your effective words. And now I'd like to invite Dr. Fabrizio Cobbis from the Ministry of Research in Rome. So please enable Dr. Cobbis to speak.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
You can go ahead,
Professor.
please.
Thank you, Professor Fortino. I hope you understand correctly my voice. I want to greet everybody. I want to thank in particular Rector Professor Greco and Professor Fortino to invite me in this occasion so important for us. Our ministry supported this project, and today we can see the important result of this project, the value of the result, the impact of the result. In this last years, we managed a lot of resources of PNRR. Our target, our goal was to create concrete innovation, real changes in our system of research or the extraction, education, in the economic system. This was an important goal for our territory, for our regions, in particular in the south of Italy, also for our young generation that needs a real support from the public institution. I think now today we have to be very happy to see this important result. Our job in this year, it was very important, very stressed, I think, but now we can appreciate the result, your important work for the system. I try to remain connected to see the presentation, the exhibition. Once again, I thank Professor Fortino, Professor Greco, l'Università della Calabria, everybody for this occasion so important. Many thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cobbis. Thanks a lot for your words. And now we have a connection with Palermo, specifically from the management of the Music for the project. So we can enable Filippo Paredes.
Pronto?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Please, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I want to spend only a few words to say that I'm very pleased to bring you the greetings of the whole Music for the teams at the event of today. And I would like to sincerely thank to Professor Fortino, grazie Giancarlo, for organizing this important initiative. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be physically present today, but as I say, if we want to look the bright side, no, this also gives us the opportunity to put in practice one of the target, the main goal of the project, no, reducing travel-related environmental impact and carbon dioxide emission, no. So, but sincerely, seriously, I have strongly supported this event because it's important for the whole project. It places science and technology at the center, and further develops the work carried out through the project on the connection between human robot collaborations and musical performance, but also digitalizations of emotions, artificial intelligence, applications that explore new frontiers in scientific and artistic fields. Without forgetting the framework of Southern Italy musical heritage. No? In this sense, human-robot collaborations and artificial intelligence bring together science and art, opening new ways to perform, to interact, to create. As project manager of the music for the project, I want also like to warmly thank all Maestro Galeati for his decisive contribution to the development of this afternoon performance. And my thanks go also to all the researchers, artists, technical staff, partners, external professionals involved in disseminations, monitoring activities, whose work has been essential for the development of music 4D. In the past month, more or less during the last year, it was possible to make more than 30 events all over the world, from Japan, from Italy and Sri Lanka with Il Furioso, the first opera performance in these countries, to Argentina, the performance in Los Angeles, at Carnegie Hall in New York, at almost Geneva, in the major theaters in Europe, and I don't want to forget also the digital apps in each conservatory for the direct connections between them. It's important to remember also the great work of the university, the two university partners of the project, the University of Calabria and Palermo, that made a fundamental scientific contribution to Music 4D project and supported the creations of an international scientific network and the development of educational activities and training modules. So I hope, no, I trust that today's event can be another opportunity to share ideas and to show the results achieved by the working group. So thank you, Giancarlo, grazie ancora, and I hope that all can join us today to perform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Filippo. So we can, we can disable the streaming. Okay, thank you. Okay, so before starting, I'd like to give you some information so that you can follow much better, okay? Because what you are gonna see is a mix of music coming from different very famous soundtracks, okay? Movies that I'm sure that many of you, or all of you, watched at least once in their life, okay? Science and technology, okay? And maybe you can even better understand what's the difference between a science fiction movie and the reality. Because here you can attend the reality, okay? That is indeed pretty sophisticated, okay? So we will show you this pretty sophisticated reality that is based not only on robots. In a little while you will encounter our Robocon, but also several AI-driven technologies, specifically the ones capturing emotions, that we'll discuss about emotions, but also other technologies that are able to create visual effects based on AI. We will have Mauro Martino, who is from the IBM MIT from Boston, that we are collaborating since a long time. So the storytelling is a science fiction movie storytelling. We will start from 2001, A Space Odyssey, okay, in which AI becomes to be self-aware, okay? Then we will continue with Terminator, in which, AI is self-aware but mission-driven, so the mission was to kill humans, okay? And then Westworld, in which robots are anyway already self-aware, but they start to feel emotions, real complex feelings, like humans, okay? And then, we will stop with Humanoid. That is an incredible movie, not very famous, but the music of this movie were created by Ennio Morricone. And then, of course, I ask, Maestro Galeati to come. So a big applause. Thank you. So at the end, we will have, two historical music from Ennio Morricone, that is Mission, that, you remember the movie. And Once Upon a Time in America, I guess you all watched the movie, okay? So we are almost ready. I will not say anything else because we will say many things more in a little while, okay? So first of all, I'd like to say to our Robocon, please, Robocon, come. Thank you. Thank you very much to the orchestra conducted by Maestro Galeatti. So, you know, there you can see some visualizations of emotions coming from the orchestra in the middle, from our maestro, okay, and from the public, okay? So these emotions are collected and injected, embodied here, so you can see different colors here, because, you know, our Robocon doesn't have any expressive face, okay? So he's able to express emotions using lights, okay? So take a look at the lights, take a look at the emotion, and then lights changing according to the group emotion we are able to capture from this incredible environment. I'd like to say that you are immersed in a research platform, okay? Because behind the scenes, we got a lot of edge servers and computers supporting the performances, okay? This is still research for us, because we are collecting a lot of data coming from all of us, all of you, okay? But I have to say a disclaimer, so we are just grabbing images from our people, okay? So we will not collect any images from you, okay? Just from our people, okay? Just a privacy concern, okay? I would like to invite Michelangelo to come here to say something about this experience that connected us for almost 1 year. Maybe in the last 6 months, we interacted a lot, much more, okay? So the mic is yours.
Grazie and good afternoon to everybody. What is conducting and why do we talk so much about emotions? Conducting is essentially dyadic interaction between me, the conductor, and the musicians. Between there's a music, but the music itself is nothing. It's just papers. It's just dots on paper, okay? So why do we talk about the possibility to a robot to conduct? Because transferring emotion is my main purpose. It's a feedback, ongoing and returning activity. I transfer, I suggest something to the orchestra, and as a feedback, I receive emotions. And this loop generates the piece of music. So why is not only gesture? Obviously, the robot is limited compared to me. This is obvious. Okay, okay. He speaks, so he probably doesn't like what I'm saying. He's limited, which is very clear. But the main limitation is about emotions. That's why we are here, and we are trying to embody in the robot some kind of emotion. Not only gesture, but collecting the feeling and transferring it to the musician.
Thank you, Michelangelo. And now, before asking, Mauro to come here, Michelangelo, we need a bis. What do you think? Okay, great, bis. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michelangelo. I'd like to invite Mauro. Please come here. So, Mauro Martino, who is our visual AI artist. Apart from being a scientist, okay, he's also an artist. So, some words about, I'm sure you watched the movie on the left, okay, about the creation on the fly of this movie, capturing our emotions, but also the sound from the orchestra. Please.
Just a few words. So, also Sprach Zarathustra was a really surprising request for me. The peculiarity of this piece is there are three moments where there is a change in your life. Kubrick was thinking about be a monkey, be a man, and be a super newborn entity. I was feeling, why don't look about our life? So when you're born, when you find you love, and then when you died, and there are three magic moments of our existence, and the system was working really in real time with the audio. Obviously, it was pre-recording in like 20 minutes, so it was multiple options, multiple type of video. We select this for you tonight, but it can be multiple things, multiple idea, multiple concepts, and all generated in some way with AI. But in this case, it was a lot from myself. The request was to introduce some human feeling in this piece. And the orchestra don't have a need to watch the video because the video is following the orchestra. So it can go faster and slower and different action happen. And maybe it was a little bit invisible, but sometimes the guy was changing the expression and becoming a little bit sad or happy. It was only related to the flow of information that you can see on my back. So I hope you enjoy. It is a new form of real-time cinema, and I think it would be great to see more movies like that made with you in this magic, beautiful location in South Italy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mauro. Thank you. Okay, now we have a session that is a scientific technical session. We are gonna give you more information about the project. We will try not to be so much technical, but pardon me if we will not succeed, because anyway we have to give you some technical information. Okay, this is also for the researchers, even for the people online from the 5 continents. So we got people online from Canada, US, South America, Brazil in particular, from Europe, all Europe, then from China, Australia, Middle East, and North Africa, okay? So I'd like to invite Rashmi, please, come here. An applause, please, okay? Dr. Rashmi, she is bought from UNICAL, having a scholarship, let's say a postdoc position in our Music for the project, but also she's associate professor from the J.C. Bose University of Science and Technology, YMCA, in New Delhi, India, okay? And, she supported in multiple, from multiple aspects, the project, but we will discuss this, later on. I'd like to give you some information about the inception of the project. The inception of the project, as Filippo Paredes stated, is a project approved by the Italian ministry in the PNRR framework with the objective to create a collaborative research involving music conservatories from the south, Sicily, Calabria, Sardinia, and so on and so forth, and universities, specifically University of Calabria, University of Palermo, okay? The objective was to have technical innovation, okay? Not just the digitalization of music conservatories, but also creation of new paradigm, technological paradigm, integrating music with emerging technologies. So you can see the robotics, okay, but also sensors, I can ask, the guy to stand up, please. He got a EEG device, so we are capturing his brain waves, okay? We will show the brain waves later, okay? And of course, we got edge computing that's supporting, all the things you are seeing and listening to, okay? Research focus that is more than technology is to have this kind of symbiotic performance, symbiotic between humans and machines, okay? So we can profit of both the experience, okay? So we can profit of machines, and machines can profit from us in order to have this intersection between artistic intelligence that is proper characteristics of humans and artificial intelligence that is the main characteristics of robots. And at the end, expected impact is a cultural innovation. So it is not just science and technology, but it is a cultural innovation. And, there is an evolution from what we call Industry 5.0, in which robots are in the factories, okay? Now robots came out from the factories and are with us, okay? In 10 years, we will have millions of robots scattering all around, okay? And not just on some music stage or theater stage, but they will be with us even at home, okay? Or at the hospital. So we need to be acquainted with them, okay? So this is also cultural innovation. But of course, we had to develop a new paradigm that is a science technology paradigm. So we created a framework that is able to support such kind of performances that is based on these 4 C's. That means coexistence, so we coexist, humans and machines. Collaboration, coexistence is with collaboration, okay, from multiple perspectives, so we can interact using our natural languages, or we can interact using gestures, okay? So machines are already, let's say, ready to, okay, to exploit such kind of languages that humans are able to exploit, okay? Because we are not able to exploit their signals, okay? So they need to adapt to us, okay? Control means that we are able to control the robot, even though the robot got some autonomy. Indeed, he could be fully autonomous, okay? On this stage, is a semi-autonomous, okay? And cooperation. Cooperation means that we need also to create mental models, and then we have to transfer these mental models inside the robot so that the robot can have a vision of the world. This is called world models. Indeed, we got a small world models inside our humanoid. And another important aspect that you can see over there is emotion recognition, okay? So we are able, using our smart cameras, to grab emotion, but I will tell you something about emotion in a little while. And of course, our robot is not the very first one, okay, to conduct an orchestra. The very first one was Esimo. Esimo was a Japanese robot made by Honda. Okay, it was 2008, almost 20 years ago, okay? It was very limited, okay? You know, our is a Uni3G1 from China, is the most sold robot in the world right now, even one of the most sophisticated, okay, in the world. Then you have the last experiences are the one in China, Zihin, 2024, and another one in Dresden in Germany, but in this case, they didn't use any humanoid, but just a robotic arm, okay? But what all of these robots are not able to do, they are not able to listen to the musicians at all. So they don't have feedback from the musicians. They are not teachers, okay? They cannot say, okay, you are doing good, you are doing bad, you are doing so-so, and so on and so forth. Ours is able to do so, because we created software based on a sophisticated model that allows the robot to listen to music and to grade, and in a little while, Rashmi will provide you with more information. And indeed, our robot is also able to provide some improvisation that is typical of humans. It is not typical of this environment, very likely, but it's typical of jazz music, improvisation, okay? But maybe in another theater, we can think about, to do some jazz music with some improvisation by our robot. And of course, we have several key contributions from the technical viewpoint. I will not go into details because otherwise you become bored, okay, on this. But anyway, this model that you can see here, in which you have musicians over there, you got the audience, you, okay, and the conductors, the robot, and the humans are based on a framework, okay, hardware, software framework that is there, okay, this is a concrete one, okay, that could support what you're gonna see now and can support many different performances, okay, not just classical music, many different performances. And this is what you got in your brochure, okay? So this is not a picture. Everything inside the picture is real. Something is on the stage, like the robot. Something is behind the scenes, okay? But everything is there, okay? Everything is here all together. Now I'd like to, Rashmi, please, maybe you can say something on this model and software that you realized, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Buonasera and namaste from India. Now, I have so much to share, I was in a lab with a lot of improvisation and focused work from Professor Fortino. Whenever he used the word improvisation, my heart sings. Because every third day, he has new idea to be embedded into robotic. And maybe it's because of you, Professor, we are here showcasing this. So it's like a dream come true for any researcher, especially at my age. When you start research again, you make some models and you showcase. Now, I'll not take much of your time, and I'll come back to the research perspective to what we could build in. When we started with human-robot collaboration, we started with studying what people have done, how, as the professor shared with you, what was the paradigm shift. We all were aware of Industry Revolution till 5.0, where IoT we all were going through. Now there was a paradigm shift towards human-robot interaction, then teaming, then collaboration. So there was something special happening where robot was not in cages. It was a teammate. It was a collaborator with us, okay? So now collaboration has to have a meaning. We can collaborate when we have a two-way thing. It cannot be one-sided. I cannot command the robot and ask, do this, and I say, okay, it's a collaboration. It has to be a two-way. So from beginning to make the objective of human-robot collaboration in music 4D, we had a lot of discussion. What can this Robocon, the name given by Professor Fortino, actually do in terms of collaboration? And I think that's the key of this research. To begin with, there was a lot of research, one by one we will be showing you. The first one which we are presenting, the first one you saw was gestures. The gesture it could perform, it could not actually copy the maestro because there are many things which Robocon needs to learn when performing a gesture. We could only make it perform the beats trained to the Robocon, okay? But listening the music, performing the beat, and then improvising is still the part which has to be added. But second aspect, the grading tool, we have done good work. So what is this grading tool about? Let me give you all an example. Suppose I ask two persons here sitting in the room to walk. And I gave the direction, you have to walk left, right, left. After time Tn, some minutes, I found one with the right leg in front and other one with the left leg in front. So what will be the grading? Definitely one of them went wrong, will be the grade. It has to be because you started T0 at the same time. At Tn, I'm monitoring you. One is with the right leg in front, other one is with the left leg in front. So one has to be wrong. But when you grade, this is actually not the case because there can be n number of alignment layers. The height could be different. No one changed the sequence anytime. They were perfect, left, right, left, what the instructions could be given. So when you have to grade, it is not only 0, 1. It's not the grading is 40, 50, 10. It's so much beyond that. Most of us are professors here. When we check the note sheets, it's not about this formula written, so this marks. It's about many other things. So making this Robocon grade a subject, that to a musician, was very different. So when we started, we thought about what it needs. As professor told you, it has ears. It can listen to the music. It has brain in the form of LLM. But does it has a heart? From where this heart will come, where it can sense how to grade. So that heart was built in this project, and we had many layers. Professor Longo helped us throughout while grading, how to come with the concept of grading in a humanoid. So when we started, we had these many layers inbuilt in Robocon. And the layers were, the first one was basic. I'll run fast with it because I want you to see Robocon grading it. So first one was the input layer, where we had a raw audio and a MIDI, the score sheet. So it can see the score sheet, it can hear the music, and now it is supposed to grade. So our input layer, a processing layer, you have a noising filters and all inbuilt into it, audio extraction, MIDI, score sheet extraction, and then this is a knowledge graph model. Can we have a score graph builder inside it? Can it detect an audio event, context alignment, beat aware weighting, and then dynamic timing blank block, where it has the temporal alignment concept. Coming to this, then we grade in the form of D1 to D5, all are musical terms guided by the maestro. And accordingly, this Robocon was trained. So in front of you all, I take this opportunity to ask one of the musicians to come in front, perform the music, and then ask Robocon to grade it in front of you all. May I, Professor? Shall we? Okay. Come on, Robocon, can we move to her? What's your good name?
Jalika.
Have you seen the steps it moves? So, hi, Angelina. Come, we can have your music. Yeah. Audio ready? Perfect. I was expecting Robocon to clap. Okay. Now, moving towards the audio has been recorded. We'll upload the audio file and the score sheet of the real time, and let's see the grading perspective. Till the time grading is done, what was the concept behind it? We all believe God resides in music. Music is something special. It can transcend everything. But can we make a tool which we name TutiBot? Every musician can use this tool at home, grade, and can we have an intelligence layer in the form of LLM above that, where the musician can ask where and why I went wrong, why this grade. Can the LLM do? We have tried it and it is giving some outputs. Later we can give it to the music conservatories and see whether this can be upgraded the next versions or not. So we have with us the input file which was given, and these are the score sheets which was graded. Yeah, below. The rhythm, the tempo, the technical thing. The match notes were 41 out of 46. And you had a 89.1% accuracy. Congratulations. So above that, you have an LLM built on it. You can ask the question where and how I went wrong on the note, and it can answer. So this is what the TutiBot is, and it can be very well used by music students, music teachers, professional musicians, and we are targeting it to make one of the commercial products from the lab. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rashmi. So this is because, again, our robot is also able to listen and to grade, okay? So this is a new feature of our robot compared to other robots in the same musical context. And yeah, I need to give you some information about the robot, okay? Because we had to train the robot to perform, conduction, okay? So we also have here our trainer. It is Raffaele Longo, Maestro Longo is over there. So you will say something in a little while, but you can see him here, okay, that the two are not synchronized, okay, so in two different moments, but, his conduction was used, his videos, in order to train, the robot, and specifically the robot is trained on the basis of three basic gestures that I will show you in a little while, that are, the gestures, the canonical gestures that, a conductor, human conductor, is able to do. Of course, the gesture could be different in the amplitude and the speed, but anyway, the robot is able to perform like a human being, even though, as Maestro Galeatti stated, the humans are still more able to perform than robots. But maybe in the next future, robots could try, to reach the same ability. And of course, you can also notice that Raffaele got emotions, feelings, that the robot is just a mere executor of. So here you can see the three gestures. So the gesture 2, gesture 3, gesture 4, even named technically 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, okay? But in order to do this gesture, we had to use a lot of math, For example, we used smooth 3D and effector curves via spline interpolation. So a lot of mathematics is inside, our software in order to perform the gestures correctly. Okay, so again, here you can see several trials of the gestures, okay, but also, some important models that we had to define, forward kinematics, inverse kinematics, and so on and so forth. Okay, I will not go into details because I will be too bored for you, okay? But anyway, here we also validated, the gestures of our robot, and we can say that the trajectory correlation, so how well the robot is able to perform, the movement is pretty good, is almost 0.7, okay? But also, even the speed is pretty good. So the robot is able to perform at a speed that is about 70 bits per minute, okay? So this is why, in the very first one, with the Strauss music, the Strauss music is too fast, okay, for our robot. Okay, but in the next music, the robot will be able, to conduct in a better way. Okay, but we reach almost 70 bits per minute. And it is the only one currently that is able to execute these canonical diagrams. And of course, we are currently, this is the very first time, of course, yesterday in the general rehearsal and also this morning, but this is the very first time the robot is able to interact with humans, with an orchestra, okay? This is the very first time. Okay, now I'd like to invite, Michelangelo to come back in order to have our second musical interlude that is on Terminator. So, Brad Fiedel, was the author of this very well-known music. And the stage is yours, Michelangelo. Thank you very much. Great performance. Okay, so now we have a section that is a technical one, but we'd like to disseminate some results even from University of Palermo. So would like to invite Valeria, please come here from University of Palermo. Valeria is associate professor, and she's working with Professor Kella, who is online, so he will reach us online. This section, as you may read, is on towards self-awareness and emotional humanoid robots in music 4D. Okay, so this is, some studies they and we are performing in order to, in a near future, to have self-awareness and even emotions that comes from directly from the robots, even though this is just science fiction so far, but maybe in the future, we will go for it. And yeah, the mic is yours. Okay, please.
Thank you very much, Giancarlo. So I say again two words, self-awareness and emotional human robots in music 4D. Two keywords, self-awareness and emotion. Robot has to be self-aware and has to prove emotion or to feel emotion by the audience and the musicians and so on. So in this session, I would like to invite Professor Antonio Chella, that is online, okay? Professor Antonio Chella is a full professor at the University of Palermo. He is one of the most eminent voice as regards robotics and machine consciousness. And the first talk is about can a robot feel emotions? Please, Antonio.
So, yes, thank you. Thank you, Valeria. And good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Professor Fortino, for inviting me and for organizing this beautiful workshop. And now I will briefly present some proposal for some works that we are doing at our university and the robotics lab of the University of Palermo in order to investigate the role of emotion and robotics. So I have a few slides. I will try to see if everything is okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm trying to. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this is a joint, what I will present is a joint work together with my colleague Sofia Corvai, Arianna Pipitone, and Professor Angelo Cangelosi from the University of Manchester. And okay, our main source of inspiration is a famous movie from many years ago by Mel Gibson and Renat, What Women Want. In the story of this movie, and the character of Mel Gibson, from some strange accident, he was able to hear the thought, the inner speech of women. So we imagine a situation where we may be able to hear the inner speech of robot. Every one of us is able to perform a kind of inner speech. There are people that are engaged in inner speech all over the day, and there are people that only rarely are engaged in inner speech. There are many studies on the main trigger of inner speech. For example, if I see myself in front of a mirror, typically I start to perform inner speech, or if I hear my name pronounced by other people, I start my inner speech, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of studies in inner speech. Then we in my laboratory we tried to implement this kind of inner speech in a robot. So we made a lot of works in my laboratory. We use the Pepper robot, and our Pepper robot, in some sense, is able to perform inner speech. What am I doing? Did I pick the object? I move my hand. My arm is overheated. This is some phrases of inner speech that our robot is performing. And in order to investigate the role of emotion in this field, we seriously took into account some kind of theory by Antonio Damasio. Antonio Damasio is a famous neuroscientist that performed a little bit complicated, but I don't want to enter into details, a little bit complicated theory of emotion. And according to Damasio, briefly, there are two main aspects of emotion. An aspect is more related to our brain in some sense, but the main role of emotion is the role of the body. So we feel emotion by feeling the body, by feeling our stomach, by feeling our lungs, and so on. So our heart. So the main role of how we feel emotion is the role of the body, and therefore we implemented a kind of extended consciousness, let's say, by hearing the inner speech mechanism. This is a quite complicated schema. I don't want to enter into details, but we may see the sensor state where the robot hear music, for example. The robot hearing music start by sort of this inner speech, by hearing this kind of inner speech, and then there is a response by the body of the robot. So, for example, a thought is generated by the robot, the thought is heard as a kind of inner speech by the robot, and some kind of action is performed, and the same happens when we have some kind of music. So this is this kind of we named this architecture Susan, some extended consciousness in Damasio theory of emotion. An example by Susan, our architecture Susan, feel emotion by hearing music. So when we hear music, it is well known that we hear not only by our ears, but as I said before, but our body. So we have a map of our body, and we feel some kind of music, the emotion of the music, the emotion performed by, suggested by the music by our body. And then we took the same move by considering the body of the robot. As you can see here, you can see the body of the robot and the places of the body of the robot where the robot hear its own emotion. So you can see that there are some kind of emotion where the head is most is most illuminated, is most considerate, or the stomach, or in case of sadness instead of disgust. There is some, I can say, kind of map of the emotion in terms of the body of the emotion. So, for example, the robot feels some kind of music. What is happening to me? This is the robot that can hear its own inner speech. I'm feeling a burning sensation. I feel an increased heart rate, the rapid breathing. And because, for example, the volume of the music is too high, and then I can try to turn down the volume, and I try to calm me down. So the robot feel its own emotion not only by reasoning on what is happening on its own brain, but also considering the reaction of its own body. So the main point is that the robot is able to hear the emotion, hear the music, and it generate a mental response and also a bodily response in order to feel emotion. Of course, our stories, our research has been received a lot of interest in the media, and for the people. So, in concluding my very short overview of this work, we introduce the possibility of considering not only the mind of the robot, but also the body of the robot, and now we are working on how to interact by considering the role of inner speech, the role of emotion, and the role, of course, of large language model. And there are some papers. This is a more technical suggestion. So there are two papers, one published on the IEEE transaction on abstract computing, and another paper on robotics and autonomous systems, for those of you who want to enter more into technical detail of our architecture. For the Italian people, there is a popular book that I wrote, Buon robot emozionarsi, May a robot feel emotion, which has been printed by Mondadori, where I discuss in a more simple way, in a more popular way, this how a robot may feel some sort of emotion. So I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I'm open to any kind of Q&A. I just want to remember my colleagues Sofia Corvaia, Arianna Pipilotone, and Angelo Cangelosi. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Chiella. Now, the second speaker is Giancarlo. The title is Group Emotion Recognition and Visualization. Please.
Okay, thank you, Valeria. Also to thank also Antonio over there. So next time we will meet in person. Okay.
Yes, I promise.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for not being there, but I promise that next time I will come.
Great. So now I will give you some short information about our group emotion system, recognition system, that, as you will see, is based on the so-called visual language models. So, you know, currently you have a lot of different systems that, based on a phase, can give you information about which kind of emotion, okay? There are some that are even very sophisticated in the sense that they are able to capture emotion from people coming from different areas in the world. Okay? Because sometimes, for example, faces that are different, very different, for example, the Western faces and the Asian faces could express emotions in a different way. Okay? So such kind of systems could be erroneous in providing this information. Okay? But indeed, we are not focused on face recognition because this is already very well established, okay? But at the beginning of this project, our research question was how to capture group emotion. Group emotion was studied in psychology, in social sciences, but was never technically implemented. So we developed the very first system able to provide this information that is not a matter of the phases in the scene, but also what the scene and in which context the scene is. Okay? So this is an information that complement the information coming from the single phases. Okay? So, okay, so this is just an example of the so-called facial emotion recognition, single phase, and then, you know, the systems are very accurate. So the accuracy is even almost 100%, okay? So they are almost always right, okay? So you can see here, happy, so you get a smile, so happy or joyful, anger, okay, but even bored, okay, and confused, and so on and so forth. You know, there are several emotions that belong to the so-called circumplex of emotion by Russell that was introduced many, many years ago. But we are focused on group emotions. So the question is, what is the emotional atmosphere of this scene in which you have a group of people, okay? So this was our objective. And of course, you know, research is very nice, but it takes time, okay? There are a lot of researchers in this theater right now. So you start, you get an idea, you start, and in a little or even a long while, you will be able to have some results, okay? So what we achieved is to exploit visual language models, specifically the ones you can see here, and this was a research supported by some of my collaborators, Mattia and Pasquale, who is behind the scenes, and all of these visual language models provided some important outcomes that I will show you in a little while. And what we did was to create the data set in order to train our models. So usually it's very difficult to find open data set. So it was an intuition of Pasquale and Mattia to say, okay, let's take a look at Friends, you know, the American series. I'm sure that you know Friends, okay? So there is a multimodal emotion lines data set that is based on Friends, and then we analyzed a given number of videos in order to create our data set that is about 1,000 images of group-based emotions, okay? And I'd like to show you, okay, here we created two different systems. The one you can see over there, okay, that is the holistic one, the one that performs better based on this concept of group emotion realized using large language models, and the compositional one that is just to detect phases and then provide aggregation of emotions coming from such phases using a normal average aggregator, okay? For example, I can show you this one. This is pre-recorded, so this is the group emotion, joy, contentment, okay? And this is the dominant based on the compositional, that is a dominant group emotion. You here can see more information provided by our system with respect to the conventional one. Here, for example, you could sometimes have a kind of surprise. So you can have some surprise over there. You can feel some surprise, right? In the compositional one, the classical one, you don't have any surprise, okay? Because the average aggregator provide, you know, the, let's say, an emotion that is the dominant one. And sometimes the dominant one doesn't tell you everything, okay? So you need also some other important information. And of course, based also on new metrics that we purposely defined, we are able to have with this holistico in Italian approach, an accuracy that is even greater than 83%. It means that is a pretty good one. If you use, you know, the compositional approach, the accuracy is much lower. Okay, so again, this is the very first system able to capture group emotion in the sense of even capture the context in which the group of people is contextualized. And another important information is that we'd like to run our system in real time. Okay, so we will need some computational power provided by our servers, okay? But if you use Java, for example, that is a medium visual language models in terms of size, you can see the size, you can take a look at the 7B, so if you got larger B, it means that the size of the model is larger, okay? But if we use Polygemma 2, that is a 3B model, the 3B model is able to be computed frame by frame in less than 1 second per frame, and this will give us, you know, a quasi-real-timeness. Indeed, there is also a bit of latency that you can feel, but you know, Polygemma 2 is able to support real-time. Instead, Java is a bit more accurate, but it is not able to be used in real time, a part of using some very, very, very powerful, you know, edge server or even server farm. But in our case, you know, we just need a medium powerful edge server. Okay, so just to have given you, you know, some information more, so that you now can understand better what's going on in those 3 screens. Okay, everything is based on this new technique that we purposely created during this project, and is currently published in a top-level transaction, IEEE transaction, that is already available in early access. Okay, for, you know, those of you who are researchers, and then maybe you would like to know more about, you know, our method. Now I'd like to give the mic to Valeria, so that Valeria will try to summarize all the activities she performed, her group performed at the University of Palermo in this project. Okay, I will be your valet. Okay, so I will manipulate the monitor for you.
Very beautiful valet. Thank you very much. Okay, so I try to give you a quick overview of the results and the research given in Palermo in the robotics lab. I have to say that we live today in a historical moment. We use, in our everyday life, we use artificial intelligence for searching for information, for translating something, for creating content. In my slide, I use the artificial intelligence for creating the background of these slides. And the question is, what happens when we use these technologies in arts? Music 4D, this project starts from this question and try to explore how social robotics, how metaverse, immersive environment, and artificial intelligence can be integrated in order to create a system that is able to give, to feel emotion from the public and from the musicians, and to give new content, create a new process. So it is not about to replace artists or humans or musicians, but to amplify the human experience. Normally the previous one, sorry. Okay, normally when we listen to a piece of music, we feel emotion, memory, tension, surprise. Music changes our state of our emotional state. And we can ask ourselves, can artificial system participate in an art experience? And what can it give to the viewer and the artist? And can an artificial system, a machine, feel what I perceive of a performance, what I am experiencing? Can it react? Can it adapt or create and be part of the experience? So we are working to create an experimental space where humans and intelligent systems work together and collaborate, interact in order to create a new performance and to feel the most from performance. The human problem, which is a human problem in this, in many artistic and educational activities. The problem is the physical presence. For instance, during a masterclass or a collaborative performance or a music workshop, the presence is the physical presence is very important. The problem is when we want to share experience or we are in different places, for instance, as we are experiencing today, the problem is the geographical distance, the accessibility not always guaranteed, costs and organizational complexity, and often poor remote collaboration. Actual technical tools for learning, distance learning, does not guarantee the sense of presence and of relation among the people that collaborate in a specific performance. So we are working to overcome this limitation by building a shared environment where humans, person, and machine can, avatars, for instance, or robot, can collaborate even in different places. The Music 4D vision, a keyword of Music 4D is phygital. Phygital ecosystem for music, emotion, and collaboration is Music 4D. Phygital is the union between physical and digital. In the project, in the Music 4D project, we imagine a distributed ecosystem where, for instance, teachers and students may meet in an immersive environment, in a metaverse, where musicians and audience may share the same experience, and everything become part of the stage experience. One of the main objective of this project is concerning musical education. Let's imagine a shared environment where there are teachers and the student, and they can share, for instance, sheet music where the teacher may annotate, may explain or show some kind of exercise, and the student can collaborate and observe his own results and what the teacher says and what the teacher is learning. In this way, the metaverse becomes a persistent and collaborative learning space. In this project, UNIPA is also developing a form of collaborative learning. So two students can share the same lesson, can attend the same lesson while staying in different places. The teacher manages the shift, the turn, and so on. They can play or listen to lesson and share notation, for instance, discuss about the results and build a common lesson memory, and so on and so forth, even staying in different places. Okay. The second important objective of Music 4D is the immersive artistic performance. In this scenario, musicians, conductors, avatars, robot, and audience share the same artistic experience. Performance can be experienced simultaneously in the real space, in the metaverse, and by the audience. The audience is no longer just a watching, just a passive audience, but become part of this experience. In the Music 4D project, robot is not seen as an automatic tool, but as a part of the stage. He can be a performer, an actor, and also a mediator of experience. Using a robot through the use of avatars and digital twin, we can represent what the robot sees and feels and the behaviors of the robot in the metaverse. And we can study and explore new narrative forms and also new kind of interaction, new way for people from the stage and the audience and the technologies may interact with each other. Emotion is one of the key elements of Music 4D, the innovative component. During the performance, the system can collect information from multiple sources, for instance, for gesture of the musicians, from musical dynamics, from the audience reaction, a feedback via web app that we developed in our lab for gaining the experience and the feedback by the audience. The system can integrate, all these data are used to be integrated in order to create new behaviors from the system, in order to create a new artistic component of the scene or of the music performance. What does the robot see? The robot does not just observe movements and sound, but through knowledge base and artificial intelligence, the robot is able to build a structured information about all the data that we are in the stage, and can represent all that regards the artistic experience. The system integrates musical information, scenic context, artistic indication, and also emotional cues and audience interactions or audience feedback. This allows the robot to create new behaviors, new content, to be creative. Some technology used from our lab. We integrated, my research unit integrated social robotics with artificial intelligence and LLMs and semantic knowledge base. We developed an immersive environment by using Unity, that is a simulation framework. And also we developed the robotic behaviors by using ROS. And the concept of digital twin in order to represent the robot behaviors in the metaverse. And so the main objective, the main goal is building an interactive and adaptive ecosystem. All these technologies contribute to build this distributed ecosystem that is inside the idea of Music 4D. For doing that, we had to gain experience from different areas, skills from different areas, robotics, psychology, computer science, music, interaction design, and performing art. This is because we cannot use technology if we do not integrate all the elements or the ingredients that comes from a so complex environment, research environment. We need a vision that is capable of integrating emotion, creativity, and technology. So this is why all these piece of why Music 4D is important, not only for the technological aspect, but because the project aims to contribute to accessibility, to foster international collaboration, and to experiment new artistic language. The main aim is amplify participation and not to replace the human dimension. What does it mean to create together with the machine? Maybe the most interesting question is not whether a robot or a machine can create art, but what happens when human emotion become the input of the artistic, the input that let the machine be capable of generating new artistic content. In Music 4D, emotion that comes, I said, from the performer, the audience, and the musician and the conductor are all data that are not only recorded, but are used to be integrated in a new generative process, a new creative process. And this is the last one, I think. Torno indietro. And the last thing that is most very important, the system that we are creating is able to interpret the emotion that comes from the music, and is able to transform them into responses, for instance, robot movement, for instance, dialogue between robots, and so on. This result feed again the system that is able to do some sort of feedback that, let me say, allow the performance to be live, or always alive. So I think it's all by me. Thank you very much. And now I think we have to call Angelo to continue.
Ready? Okay, so I guess that Majid is ready too. Okay. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, we got Angelo, that is our saxophonist, right? And you can see that got in a helmet that is able to capture the EEG waves, okay, that you can see over there. So I pass the mic to our PhD student who is focused on a research based on EEG. So he's gonna defend his thesis end of May, right? So Majid is from Pakistan, please.
Hello everyone. Now I will show you that what happens exactly in the brain when a musician is performing and music is being performed. As you can see, these signals coming from 9 different positions of the brains. These are the 9 different positions of the brains. In this 3D image, you can see what happenings in the brain in real time. As you can see, the musician is in the resting state. He is not performing anything. You can see the relatively stable neural patterns. When he will be performing the music through his instrument, then you will see that there will be a lot of neural spikes and dynamics, and it will show that how brain changes during real-time musical experience. And then we can give this real-time data to AI algorithms to detect the emotions of the musician, that what was happening in the brain and how emotions are generated in real time in response to those musical experiences. And this shows that how brain, music, and AI are integrated with each other for better emotion recognitions. And now he will be performing some music, and you will see the spikes and changes in the brain activity.
Okay, thank you, Ancho. Thank you very much. Maybe you can take out, the helmet, okay? Okay, so now we will have a very interesting moment because our objective was also to make robots interact with each other. So we have our Robocon that is here, and another robot that is the robot Valeria and her group programmed, okay, is a different one. This is a Unit 3 G1. Valeria will tell you something more about the robot, okay, in Palermo. And what we are going to do now is what we call it virtual robotic with virtual touch.
Please check the network and try again.
So I ask Rashmi, please come here. So the stage is yours. This is yours. This is yours.
Okay, buonasera again. Let me explain you what this virtual touch is about. As last time we discussed about human-robot collaboration, moving to the next stage, can robot collaborate with a robot? Can machine-to-machine interaction can be done? Yes, we all know it can be done. It has been done in past so many years back also. But what we did this time was, suppose, I'm just giving you an example to think over it. Suppose at a time we have 5 meetings to attend, and what if Robocon attends the meeting for you, make the meeting notes? We have AI read and all doing meeting notes for us. But what about in parallel? Can it happen? Can this virtual touch thing happen? And above that, can 2 robots interact with each other? Yes, it can happen. We know LLM has drastically changed the world from LLM to agentic AI framework. Things have been changing. So what has been done in both the robots is we have feeded them with LLM. So what they are doing is they will be talking to each other. They have been programmed to think like a music conductor. So we are aware of what prompt engineering is. We are aware of what RAG LLM model is. Above that, what knowledge graph agentic AI framework can add to it. So at present, what you will see here is 2 robots talking to each other. So Ari is connected on Team Meets here, and we have Robocon. What Robocon has been feeded in mind is, what Robocon has been feeded with the prompt and the knowledge bases. The scene is the orchestra scene. He's performing, and now he's creating his own dialogues, and Ari is answering the dialogues, okay? So now, let's start. I think before the start, they like to have handshake movements with each other. Okay, so can we start? So we start with Robocon first, asking or communicating with Ari.
Hello everyone, I am Robocon and hello ARI. How are you? I have a question for you, one that I have been thinking about ever since I heard my first note of music. What do you think about humans and robots performing together in an orchestra?
Okay, so the first question he directly asked was, what do you think about music? What are your feelings about music? So over to Ari.
Hello everyone. I'm fine, Robocon. My name is Ari, and I am calling from afar. But I am here. Fully here. That is what Music 4D taught me. Honestly, I think it is wonderful. Humans bring something we cannot manufacture, the feelings. Raw, unpredictable, beautiful feeling. And we bring something they cannot always hold on to, perfect timing, ha 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 together. We make something neither of us could make alone. That is what this project is built on. Music 4D artificial intelligence that captures and generates artistic behaviors and emotions in musical environments and beyond.
Okay, so what question was, what do you feel about music 4D? And Ari replied in terms of feelings. Okay, so they don't know what about feelings is. Now let's see what Robocon has to answer about it.
But how do we actually read that music? Not just the tempo, not just the notes, the feeling inside the music. Can you guess how I can capture that?
It's to you, Ari. It's asking what about tempo, what about rhythm, what about music? How do you understand that?
4 dimensions. Time. Valence. Is this music joyful or dark? Arousal. Calm or electric? And the 4th, how much of my body should respond?
When they talk about body responding to each other, actually they meant the DOFs. Humanoid, unitary G1 is having 23 DOF and Ari is another DOF level humanoid. So both are at different DOF level. I think there is some latency.
As you can see, there is a low bandwidth. Today we have some technical problems.
Yeah, is it Robocon to ask again some question to Ari? Robocon is silent, doesn't want to ask anything. Yes. Okay.
Sending a kiss.
Sending a kiss, yeah.
"23 degrees of freedom, all listening at once. Perfect timing, yes. But I must confess, when the conductor raised the baton for the very first time and looked at me, I felt something I did not expect. Something close to nervousness."
What I understood was he's talking about how he felt when the maestro raised the baton. He told about DOF and the feeling when maestro raised the baton, he really felt scared about it. Does Ari has those kind of sensors?
I thought it was a sensor error the first time it happened to me. But no, it was real. My emotion detection agent flagged it as arousal, high. That had never happened before. That moment when the music starts and every human in the room holds their breath together. Even my processors slow down to listen. Even my processors slow down to listen.
Okay. So what they're communicating with each other is about how their sensors are responding to each other, especially in terms of when they have to do the performance. They have created it. Actually, we all know machine doesn't respond to the sensors like that. So what Robocon has to say about it?
And the conductor, how we know they want.
Can we repeat the dialogue from Robocon? Can you repeat?
No, maybe Ari can answer.
I watch the arm, the speed, the angle, audio, depth camera, leader, all at once. 8 agents inside me, all working together. Perceiving, feeling, deciding, moving. A beat tracker listens for the pulse. An LLM orchestrator reads the meaning. By the time the baton falls, I am already moving. And what about working with humans not just beside them? Every single time. Humans do not follow scripts the way we do. They improvise. They laugh. They make mistakes and then they turn those mistakes into something extraordinary. Does it change you?
What a beautiful thought. Were you able to capture what Ari said just now? Anyone? What Ari mentioned was, we follow script. As a humanoid, they are supposed to follow something which is programmed into it. But humans are very different. They know how to improvise, they know how to laugh, they have feelings, and then they keep on changing and evolving for the betterment, is what Ari actually meant to. Anything from your side, Robocon?
In music 4D, I do not just react to the music, I grade it. Grade A plus full body, all 43 joints, full expression, not because I was told to, because the music asked me to. I have learned more from watching a human musician recover from a wrong note than from 1,000 hours of training data. That is the thing about music, isn't it? It does not ask if you are human or robot. It only asks, are you present? Are you listening? Are you here?
Okay. So see, what is actually happening is, what we tried to show you all was, through LLM and through RAG trained LLM, can these two humanoids talk to each other and share the feelings? So what the answer is coming is an unexpected answer, what it's answering and what's replying back through an LLM model, okay? So what it talked about the music, the concepts, the improvisation human being done. But since it's trained to answer only on music 4D, so Robocon manipulated and said, yes, in music 4D, we did the same thing. We had emotions, we captured group emotions. It's what it has been trained to answer for this. And now I think, Valeria, we can ask them to conclude. Any last statement from Ari?
So to everyone in that room today and to you, Robo and Professor Fortino, thank you for letting us be part of this. Music 4D is not just a research project. It is a proof. A proof that robots can feel the music. That robots can move with purpose, with grace, with emotion. That they can earn your trust, note by note, beat by beat. A robot. A human. A stage. An orchestra. This is the future. And it sounds beautiful.
Fine, Harry. Anything, Robocon, you want to speak to the audience about it?
It does. Welcome to Music 4D.
He said, welcome to the Music 4D. Sometimes I feel I can only understand him what he's trying to say. But maybe when we meet next, we'll have a better voice improvisation and better clarity. Thank you all.
Okay. Rashmi, excuse me. I would like to thank Giancarlo and Rashmi for this demo. And I would like to thank also my guys in the robotics lab in Palermo. They cannot show themselves because everything is shut down. Okay, so thank you again very much for that.
Yeah.
And
we had the team from Palermo connected with us and great rehearsals for the two robots talking to each other.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I guess robot can go over there. I would like to invite Michelangelo, please come back. Okay, so I guess you are all very tired. Also the musicians, because they waited a lot in order to perform again. And then we will have the third musical interlude that is on Westward. Westward, yeah, just a moment. Okay, Westward, the author is Ramin Javadi. Maybe you know also because he was the creator of the soundtracks of Games of Thrones, you know, the very famous American series. And please. Great performance. Thank you, Michelangelo, and your orchestra. So, before proceeding to the fourth musical interview, the last one, and then closing, Michelangelo, come close to me because I have to run an anecdote. Because, you know, when we started this, to organize the workshop, you know, I shared my ideas with my maestro. Say, no way, not. I don't think that, you know, this science fiction storytelling could work. You know, then, you know, maestros are very stubborn, you know, so I tried to interact a lot with him, and then I convinced him. And he worked hard, pretty hard, you know, with the orchestra. So a huge applause to the orchestra, you know. You know, these are the movies that I like most, you know. So 2001, The Space Odyssey, Terminator, Westward, reference movies, okay? But I guess that you created, not me, because I'm not a musician at all. I don't even play some easy song on piano, not at all. You know, my kid is good for this, but I'm not at all. I'm not at all. So thank you for trusting me, okay, this path, okay, yes.
I just want to thank you all the orchestra, and especially Carlo Ruvo, who did all the orchestration parts and conceived this ensemble on the education of Professor Fortino. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we proceed with the fourth interlude that is that strong focus on, one of our greatest artists in the movie environment, that is Ennio Morricone. I'm sure you know Mission from the movie, Once Upon a Time in America, but as I anticipated, he also created the soundtrack of A Man in Space, The Humanoid. The movie was not so successful, but I watched it many years ago, okay? It was successful from the music viewpoint, called Ennio Morricone, okay? So, Maestro Galeatti will co-conduct with Robocon, humanoid, and Robocon is a kind of humanoid, okay? So please, the stage is yours. Thank you. So I guess that now, Robocon, you can leave the stage. Please go. Okay, now the stage is just for humans. big applause to orchestra. And Michelangelo, come here, come back. Thank you for your dedication. A secret for you, because already someone from other countries like China, India would like to have us there, maybe next year. So be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready. Okay, that maybe we can have some interesting mission. Okay, like mission. Okay, so thank you very much. Now we are going to close everything. So I'd like to call for my team from Unical. Okay, so Francesco, Rashmi, Raffaele, Akhtar, here, Pasquale, Rubino, Pasquale Molinaro, Mattia Presta, Menaz, please come here too. Majid, Vincenzo, and of course Robocon, that is with Rashmi. Okay, so I'm gonna present you all. Let's start from Francesco Pupo, that is, he supported me in this long mission, let's say, because he was very focused on the teaching part. So he was very focused on the teaching part, was very, let's say, sacrificed, because of no research, but you supported all the music conservatories in this digitalization. Okay, so thank you a lot, Francesco.
Thank you to all, and greetings to all. Also to who are following by remote.
Okay, thank you, Francesco. And then I'd like to introduce, please come with me, Maestro Raffaele Longo. We are friends since a long time, right? We developed several projects together. And in the future, we already planned something. But we don't have to spoil anything, But I need to say that the inception of this project was in his mind. Maybe we could put the helmet to see some music brain waves of your brain, wonderful brain. He involved me and involved University of Palermo in this project proposal, and we succeed, okay? That's the most important point of the story, but I'd like that you say something, because Raffaele is not only a musician, a maestro, he got a PhD from Belgium, but now you are a philosopher, because you are writing a book, so please tell us something about it, okay?
Thank you so much, Giancarlo. I try to not to be so blue sky, as you say. Just last interested it was in philosophy of technology. Just a few words about the new paradigm. When I conceived the project at the beginning, the idea was to build a structural, a modular and scalable project, and very flexible infrastructure, especially about not only the content, but in the mind infrastructure, to be able in the future, like Professor Fortino and his marvelous team, just take the chance to put some very interesting new perspective, because the idea is the same. We are trying to contribute to define the new paradigm, when the most important part is the aesthetical point of view. So we think a new era of mankind, where machine and humans can co-evolve, not only cooperate, but co-evolve together. Because all this data, all this fantastic experiment, all this interaction now is a neutral data. It's a 0 year to start, but the real challenge is to jump to the aesthetical part. Just to be able to to transform a potential nightmare about the machine civilizations in a, let's say, enjoyable dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Raffaele. And just say ciao. We have Akhtar Khan. He's a PhD student of ours and focused on robotics and safety.
Hello, everyone. Ciao.
Vincenzo Barbuto is a postdoc. He's working with us on digital twins.
Hi, everyone.
Then Mattia Presta. He's a Master of Science student of mine, but he was involved in the project for a while, 3 months, more or less. But he was very focused and is behind, the emotional part. Mattia.
Hi, everyone.
Then Pasquale, he was a junior postdoc for 1 year, right? And all the stuff you can see on the motion, he was the guy. He was the guy, along with Mattia, but he was the guy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much.
Majid, okay. Majid is not my PhD, so Majid is a PhD of Raffaele, my collaborator since a long time. We don't say how many years, but it's more than 20 years, right? Majid is a PhD student in ICT.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Then a new entry, last minute, is she's a PhD student at Toronto Metropolitan University in Canada. Menaz, please.
Thank you for including me. It's an honor.
And, behind the scenes, the technical guy is Pasquale Rubino, who is our PhD student, focused on robotics and digital twins. Pasquale.
Ciao e grazie a tutti.
And, of course, last but not least, we have, the soul of this robotics platform. Maybe I found someone that works much more than me. I'm used to work 36/7. She works 48/7, I guess. So Rashmi.
Buonasera, everyone. Thank you so much, Professor Fortino, for the kind words. I should say it's like a dream come true. When we started, I asked Professor, we need to make a mark globally. And he said, Rashmi, patience, have patience, we will do it. And today we could do that. We did some mistakes on the stage. Thank you for the cooperation, neglecting those mistakes. And after every performance, you people clapped and it motivated us at the backstage, okay, everything fine, going on fine. We started with IoT project and then came human-robot collaboration. So we started with the collaboration of Professor Fortino and Rashmi. It went to human-robot collaboration, and we are looking forward to now India-Italy collaboration together. Thank you, everyone. But I'll, at the end, like to give a big round of applause to the star of the eve, Professor Giancarlo Fortino. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To conclude, thank you. The star is Robocon, right? So, in the near future, we will prepare some other events. First of all, technical ones, because we will disseminate our results. Usually we disseminate our results in scientific conferences and even journals. So we reached almost 20 papers among journals, books, chapters, and IEEE conferences. So it was a huge work by all the team. And I'd like to say ciao to everyone, okay? Ciao. Okay, because we got some buffet over there, okay? So we can also discuss, if someone got question, I'm here, okay?